This video is all about sharing with you a life-changing, powerful spiritual teaching that almost nobody has heard of. And if you can understand this, it's a huge step forward to transcending your ego and moving towards enlightenment. I am Brent Phillips. I am the founder and creator of the Awakening Dynamic System of Energy Healing and Higher Consciousness. And I'm here with video number 7 of 7 in our series on Transcending the Ego. And so in this last video, I'm going to share with you an amazing teaching from my late mentor, Carl, that it seems kind of obvious once you know it, but most people are totally ignorant. And it goes something like this, that when you are at the effect of a story or a mythology or a behavior, it is invisible to you. So that was a little abstract, but I'm going to break it down and explain it. So I'll say it again. When you are at the effect of a story, a mythology, a behavior, it is invisible to you. So what does that mean? Well, first I want to clearly define what it means to be at the effect of something. What that means is that when you're at the effect of something, it is controlling you in a way. So let's give a good example. Alcoholism. Almost all of us have either had our own issues with alcohol or known someone, a friend, a family, a work colleague, a neighbor who has. Very common disease. And here's the thing. Most alcoholics don't think they have a problem. Bingo. That's what I want you to see. But yet they are affected by it. So an alcoholic is at the effect of alcoholism. Why is that? Well, they have to have a drink to relax. Many can't feel good without drinking. Many alcoholics, if they don't drink, go into withdrawal. And it's my understanding that alcohol withdrawal is one of the nastier ones. It can kill you. It can be that severe. It can kill you if you withdraw. And so alcoholics are at the effect of alcohol because whether they're drinking or not has a huge impact on how they experience their life. Whereas someone that's not an alcoholic, maybe you don't drink, maybe you're a social drinker, maybe you drink a lot, and it's just you're not an alcoholic. You really can stop anytime. You are not at the effect of alcohol because you choose when to drink. It's up to you. If you're an alcoholic, it's not really up to you. The disease, the addiction takes over. Now, spiritually, there's often entities associated with it, but I'm not going to go too woo-woo here. So that's what it means to be at the effect of a behavior. Maybe you're a rageaholic and your thing is anger. Well, if you've lost 4 jobs in a row and 4 girlfriends because of your anger, you are at the effect of the anger. It is controlling your life. It is deciding how things go. That's what that means. And so when we are at the effect of a story, a myth, a behavior, it is invisible to us. And so I'm going to use alcoholism as a good example here. And I think alcoholism is a great example here because if you've known alcoholics, maybe a family member, a close friend, something like that, right? And you have expressed concern to them about their drinking, what is it that the alcoholics almost always say? They'll go, oh, don't worry about it. I'm not addicted. I can stop any time. I can take it or leave it. I don't have a problem. But you, being the objective third party, you know they have a problem, right? Let's say you're married to an alcoholic and they've crashed the car and gotten 3 DUIs and lost their license. Right, they have a problem, right? You see it, they don't. Same thing with a rageaholic. Same thing with a gambling addict. Same thing with a negative thinker. So here's how it goes. Most of us, especially adults, we don't walk around all day and going, gee, I'm at the effect of alcoholism. Or, gee, I'm at the effect of negative thinking. Or, gee, I'm at the effect of racial prejudice. Or whatever issue is, right? Instead, we always think we're being logical, reasonable, rational, clever. So I'll just use the alcohol example. Alcoholics, many feel it's completely reasonable and understandable that you need to drink at the end of the day to relax. To them, it seems reasonable, clever, even smart. Those around them realize, hey, buddy, you got a problem. If you got to drink 12 beers to get to sleep every night, you are at the effect of the booze, right? You are at the effect of it. You're no longer running your life. And this is another reason. Remember earlier in the series, I said that we have to accept that most of us don't really know what's best for us. We all think we do, but we really don't. Why? It's other things, this brainwashing. It's drug addiction. It's advertising. It's propaganda from the government, things your parents told you. That's what leads you to think that your behavior is proper and reasonable. But it's almost never. Everyone likes to think they're clever, they're smart, they're getting it right. But the fact is, almost all humans make at least the big decisions primarily emotionally. And we are at the effect of those emotions. So if you really want to transcend the ego, you got to step back and say, what's really happening in my life? Where are these decisions really coming from? Because the ego is insidious. It's whispering in your ear. It's telling you things that are lies, but they feel true. And we wonder why our lives are so screwed up, right? A great example of this for those that are South Park fans. And if you are, let me know in the comments. You like South Park? I love South Park. Of course, it's offensive a lot of the time, but that's kind of the point. They're pretty much equal opportunity. They will tear up everybody for the sake of comedy. And on South Park, they have this character. His name is Towley. And he is a mutant, genetically engineered, intelligent towel. So he's like a bathroom towel that has a face and can talk and think, right? And Towley is a stoner. He loves to smoke weed. And on the show, whenever they're doing something with him, they're like, hey, Towley, let's go out and, play football with our friends. And he'll be like, yeah, man, give me a second. I just need to get a little bit high, right? And then he goes and gets high and is so blitzed he can't get up off the couch or play football. That's what our behaviors do to us. Your traumas, your myths, your addictions, your old subconscious blocks. They are lying to you constantly, telling you things that aren't true, but you may believe it because it feels true. So does Towley do better when he's high? No. He's a worthless slug when he's high, right? But he believes he needs to be high, and so he keeps indulging this behavior that's dragging him backwards. Just notice we're all like that. We all think we're being so clever, so rational, that we're doing the right things all the time. Almost never true. It's fascinating to me that if we look at the 12 steps, the addiction treatment program, Alcoholics Anonymous and all the variations, there's the 12 steps. The first step is generally considered the most difficult. What's the first step? Admitting you have a problem. That's the hardest step of all of them. Why is that? Again, you are at the effect of a story, a myth, a behavior when it is invisible to you. So an alcoholic that is fully aware that they are an alcoholic is no longer completely controlled by the alcohol, maybe partially. That's the difference. So a rageaholic that's aware they are a rageaholic is no longer 100% at the effect of their anger, maybe a little bit, but that's a huge difference. And so what I ask everyone to do, if you really want to move ahead in your life, seek objective feedback from others around you on what's really going on. One of the things that was amazing for me when I started doing movement feedback holography with my late mentor, Carl, is that my whole life up to that point, I met Carl when I was 37 years old. I had been told, Brent, you're a cool guy, you're funny, you're kind, but you're arrogant. I'd heard that over and over and over, and I didn't feel it at all. I felt, if anything, it was the opposite. I'm like, I'm not arrogant. I have low self-esteem. I hate myself a lot of the time. And I didn't get it. And then I did my first slackline, which is a special form of movement with Carl, and I could see it right there on the video. I'm like, oh my God, I looked so arrogant, I wanted to go punch myself in the face. And so that's part of why this is difficult. We all think we're being reasonable, rational, clever, doing the right things to try to achieve the things we want that will make us happy. No, generally not true. We are run by mythologies, stories, addictions, traumas, and pain that are running our life and making our decisions for us. And when that happens, you won't see it at all. It will be invisible to you. And so just knowing this one thing, this puts you ahead of 99% of the world spiritually. Because most people live their whole lives and die thinking they're so clever and being reasonable and rational. Again, just like alcoholics, it seems very rational and reasonable and normal to them to have a few drinks every night or a lot of drinks. That seems fine. It seems, of course, you can't have fun without drinking, right? It's not true. But this is not about alcoholism. It's about everything. Our trauma, our pain, our prejudice. It's all there whispering in your ear, lying to you constantly. And recognizing what's really going on is the hardest but most critical step to breaking free. Once you recognize that you're actually not that clever, that the things you want aren't actually going to make you happy, it's disappointing. It feels like a step back, but it's a huge step forward. This is how we transcend the ego. So I would encourage you, ask for feedback from people that know you, that you trust, to find out what's really running the show in your life. And it's probably a lot different than what you think. If you're interested to learn more, this is exactly what I do in my movement feedback holography sessions, is use movement to read the unconscious energy patterns and see exactly what's controlling you and running your life. Then we can clear it out and set you free. So we're coming to the end of the series here. If you like it, if you think it's cool, hit like, hit subscribe, please share with your friends. If you'd like to learn more about me and my work, check out my website. There's some links below in the description. You might want to check out my Heal-a-thon live webinar. I do a lot of cool live interactive processes. You might also really enjoy my End of Suffering program, which is a step-by-step process to end your suffering. Not only does it have a lot of lectures, it has encoded block clearings to clear over 340 subconscious blocks that are holding you back. So if you're interested, check out the description. There's some links. Otherwise, this is Brent Michael Phillips signing off of our series on Transcending the Ego. I like to finish by saying I hope you found this content some combination of entertaining, informational, and transformational. So until next time, please take care and namaste.